For you, what every smoker wants. Mildness plus no unpleasant aftertaste.
Try Chesterfield, the one that proves its taste. Yes, Chesterfield, milder, plus no aftertaste.
So ho, open a pack and give 'em a sniff.
Then you smoke 'em.
Someone wait for me.
This is Ken Carpenter, welcome to the Bing Crosby Show for Chesterfield, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. John Scott Stoddard is orchestra, Jed Collins of the Bears, and Bing's guest, Jerry Crosby.
That's right, Ken. Yes, indeed. The Terry Como of the Ducktail haircut set is with us this week.
You know, Bing, last week, Lindsay, your youngest boy, was your guest, and now tonight, Gary's on the program.
Yeah.
What's the idea of using the kids for guest stars so much lately?
Ken, it's due to this entertainment crisis in radio.
Oh?
Nearly everybody else but us Crosbys have quit radio for television. Everybody's thrown the coop.
Oh, you Crosbys are making a last stand, is that it?
Precisely. You've got it, Ken. I feel like General Custer. Pixie, the four kids, and I are clustered around a microphone, fighting desperately as the savage forces of television, in full war paint, make attack on our doomed little band.
It's a vivid and touching scene.
Isn't it? Isn't it colorful? We're thinking, of flying Grandma Moses out to paint our little grouping for posterity.
Bing, I don't see why you so worry so much about television.
Who's worrying? I'm ignoring. I just don't have time for TV.
Well, gee, Bob Hope finds time for television.
He finds time for everything. Movies, radio, stage shows, television, deep freezer defrostings, barber pole unveilings, cattle dehornings, dedication of lobster pots. Say he's attended more picnics than an ant with an air travel card.
I just don't understand how Bob finds the time to squeeze so much work in.
You know what he did, Ken?
What?
He had the Hamilton people make him a special watch.
Special watch?
Yep, the face has 48 hours on it instead of 12.
That's not a bad idea to gain some extra time, but who's he fooling?
Himself. Ken, I think now we better get on to things musical, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I got an opening selection here this evening. It happens to be a song called Them There Eyes, and it's a tune which I introduced at the Coconut Grove.
Recently?
No, let's just say it was in this century. Leave it that way. I'm going to get the Hamilton people to build me a watch that runs backwards, I think. John Scott, why don't you start things off here, huh? I fell in love with you first time I looked into them there eyes. You've got a certain cute way of flirting with them there eyes. They make me feel so happy. They make me feel blue. No stalling, I'm falling, going in a big way for sweet little you. My heart is jumping, you sure started something with them there eyes. You'd better watch 'em if you're wise. They sparkle, they bubble, they're going to get you in a whole lot of trouble. You're overworking them, there's danger lurking in them there eyes.
I fell in love with you first time I looked into them there eyes. You got a certain little cute way of flirting with them there eyes. They make me feel so happy. They make me blue. No stalling, no falling, going in a great big way for you.
My heart is jumping, you sure started something with them there eyes. You better watch 'em if you're wise. They sparkle, they bubble, they're going to get you in a whole pack of trouble. You're overworking them, there's danger lurking in them. Them there are.
kids. Really great.
Oh, I think it does have a nice bounce, that tune, don't
It
you, Kent?
does,
Now,
Kent.
having told you gentle people all about them there eyes, we'd like to sell you them there milder Chesterfield.
Yes, friends, only one cigarette, Chesterfield, gives you mildness plus no unpleasant aftertaste, what every smoker wants.
And tobacco growers, 1,523 of them, say Chesterfields are milder, and they show you how to prove it. They say Chesterfield's right combination of the world's best tobaccos smells milder and smokes milder.
And here's what modern science and research says. What the cigarette taste panel says. There's only one cigarette which leaves no unpleasant aftertaste. That cigarette is Chesterfield.
Now, every smoker wants a milder cigarette, and every smoker after smoking wants no unpleasant aftertaste. Only Chesterfield gives you both, and that's more for your money than any other cigarette can give you.
Prove it yourself for the price of one pack. Yes, that's all it comes down to. Just the price of a pack of Chesterfields to prove Chesterfield is the best cigarette for you.
I recorded this song recently with Louis Alvera and his band of Delua. The lovely senorita says no, and I believe her, but oh, why do her eyes say quizás, quizás, quizás? That Spanish moon is brighter than it must know something all right. That's why her eyes say quizás, quizás, quizás. We should go back and dance with the rest of the dancers. And yet I have the feeling that her heart's not in her answer. The lovely senorita says no, but I'm not willing to go. Not while her eyes say quizás, quizás, quizás.
Siempre que te pregunto que cuando, dónde, no siempre me respondes. Quizás, quizás, quizás. The lovely senorita says no, says no, says no. Well, why do I say maybe so?
We should go back and dance with the rest of the dancers. And yet I have the feeling that her heart's not in her answer. The lovely senorita says no, but I'm not willing to go. Not while her eyes say
Quizás,
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 quizás. Could be. Folks, this week we're celebrating National Baseball Week across our great nation. This year is also golden anniversary of the minor leagues of the National Association of Professional Baseball. So here now is a big salute from the Pittsburgh Pirates to the great American game of baseball. I think it'd be nice, too, if you fans from coast to coast would sort of join in this salute by attending the ball game in your hometown, whether it's Class D or up to the major leagues. And say, here's a new baseball song. About the only one that's come along since Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and it's called Play Ball. Oh, play ball.
Play ball.
Gee, it's a wonderful day. Play ball.
Play ball.
Let's get the game underway. Hey, you with those hot dogs, two over here. There's that peanut vendor and the guy with all the beer. Strike one. Your favorite players at bat. Strike two. You squirm and fuss with your hat. And then you see him tag one right on the nose. And then you watch it go and go and go. There it goes. What are we waiting for? Play ball. The Giants and the Dodgers will be at each other's throats. The Reds and the Cubs and the Pirates, when they beat you, how they gloat. The Phillies and the Cardinals are full of beefs and squawks. Watch out for the Braves. They'll scalp you with their tomahawks.
The White Sox and the Senators are quite a fighting bunch. The A's and Browns will always try to beat you to the punch.
The Indians are scrappy, but they're a cinch to beat. The Tigers love to claw 'em. They're the Tigers' special meat.
The Red Sox and the Yankees are a mighty potent crew. They really try to beat you to a pulp before they're through.
Let's grab a cab, I'll pay the tab. We'll sit in back a third. We'll root and boo and holler like you never heard. Strike one.
What?
Your favorite players at bat. Strike two. You squirm and fuss with your hat. And then you see him tag one right on the nose. And then you watch it going down. There it goes. Play ball, play ball, play ball.
Just before we leave this fascinating subject of baseball, I thought that perhaps you sports fans might be interested to learn about a new book which is just out. It's called Nobody Asked Me, and it's written by Jimmy Cannon, the eminent sports writer and war correspondent of the New York Post. It's rich in anecdotal items about baseball, well, about all sports. Here's a little rural roundelay made popular by the fantastic Les Paul.
When the sun in the morning peeps over the hill and kisses the roses round my windowsill, then my heart fills with gladness when I hear the trill of the birds in the treetops on Mockingbird Hill. Tra-la-la, twiddly-dee-dee, it gives me a thrill to wake up in the morning to the mockingbird's trill. Tra-la-la, twiddly-dee-dee, there's peace and goodwill. You're welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill. Got a three-cornered plow and an acre to till, and a mule that I bought for a $10 bill. There's a tumble-down shack and a rusty old mill, but it's my home sweet home up on Mockingbird Hill.
La-la-la, twiddly-dee-dee, it gives me a thrill to wake up in the morning to the mockingbird trill. La-la-la, twiddly-dee-dee, there's peace and goodwill. You're welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill.
When it's late in the evening, I climb up the hill and survey all my kingdom while everything's still. Only me and the sky and an old whippoorwill singing songs in the twilight on Mockingbird Hill. La-la-la, twiddly-dee-dee, it gives me a thrill to wake up in the morning to the mockingbird's trill. La-la-la, twiddly-dee-dee, there's peace and goodwill. You're welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill. You're welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill. On Mockingbird Hill.
Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I may, I'd like to present my vocal coach, the man who made me what I am today, Mr. Gary Crosby.
Hi, Dad.
Welcome to the Chesterfield program, Gary.
Thanks, Dad. But where are the lights and the cameras and the scenery?
What do you mean, lights, cameras? This isn't television, son. This is radio.
Radio?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It was quite the thing when I was a little boy.
Quite the thing right now. People just don't know about it, that's all.
Well, you've got to start facing life, Dad.
Thank you, Portia. Thank you. Shall we get on now to one of our songs?
Which one will we do?
I was thinking maybe we should kick off with When You and I Were Young, Maggie Blues.
Gee, if this were television, we could wear straw hats and canes.
Now, let's not worry about the wardrobe. Let's just try and stay on key, huh?
I've been requested to sing an old-time song.
Ah, you're just the man to do it, Pappy.
Don't get flipped. There's 3 very clever lads waiting at home to replace you.
Something our granddaddies used to sing.
Granddaddies? Why, you told me you started.
Luella might be listening.
But I've a little plan, and I'll do the best I can. to sing an old song so we all can understand. You simply take a favorite and you flavor it here with just a note or two of blue harmony. Tell the orchestra to play staccato below, and then you jazz a little obligato. Turn out that Maggie tune is a raggy tune. Pay no attention to the music that they play, but just rock your blue long ago. On the spot, start to sway, getting hot and now. Hear the broken time, if just spoken time. All around I see harmony, charm, and where one every loving note is a loving note. Just full of music that you can't refuse. But I love, now you know the way. Tell the band to play, and when you listen, just christen it and say, I got those when you and I were young, Maggie Blue. You simply take a favorite and you flavor it with just a note or two of blue harmony. I like that. Tell the orchestra to play staccato, and then you jazz a little obligato. Now that Maggie tune is a raggy tune. Pay no attention to the music that play, but just rock.
You know this might bring you back, this type of stuff.
On the spot, start to sway,
join me?
hot now. The green robe is gone from the hill, Maggie, where once the daisies sprung. Tell the band to play, and when you listen, say, Maggie, I got those aggravating, agitating blues I'm hating, so I'm stating, I'm only waiting to lose those ever loving Maggie blues.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks. Very handy you were. Now, shall we get along to the next number, this Moonlight Bay job?
Oh, an encore, huh?
Sure. You know, your brother Lindsay and I did Moonlight Bay on the program last week. Did you happen to catch little Lynn?
Sure. Do you think I can follow him?
If you just rear back and take dead aim, don't press too much, you may approximate his effort. Would you try to get on now with the song? What do you say?
After you, sir.
We were sailing along on Moonlight Bay. We could hear the voices ringing. They seemed to say, you have stolen my heart. Now don't go away. As we sang love's old sweet songs on Moonlight Bay. I am joined now by my associate in song, Mr. Getty Crosby, who's been flown in at a great expense from Seidlmeier's Milk Bar. Get it? We were sailing along.
I bet you were cute in your new sailor suit.
People cheered on Moonlight Bay.
Just as sharp as a tack with a belt in the back.
Ow! You could hear the voices ringing.
A crooning a tune.
They seem to say,
Oh, Hetty boy, you're a positive joy.
Hetty, you have stolen my heart.
You acted so bad, just a regular cad.
Now don't go away.
And this is the lad who wound up as my dad.
As we sang,
But over a ragtime with a bang.
on Moonlight Bay.
On Moonlight Bay.
Shall we rest on our oars now and listen to the string-on sound? plain king. Well, 20 years have passed. I put on a little around the middle, lost considerable off the top. But Moonlight Bay goes on.
We were sailing along.
Sailing in a souped-up hot rod outboard yet. Some sailing.
Moonlight Bay.
Oh, the bay. I was very big on the bay, very
We
big.
could hear the voices ringing. Oh, no.
Listen, don't
They
knock
seem
that.
to-
Kept you freeloading for years.
You have stolen my heart.
Yes. You've stolen many of my neckties, too. My
Now,
Charvet.
don't go away.
Oh, don't go away.
As we sang old sweet song on Moonlight Bay.
Oh, we will sail.
We're sailing along in beautiful moonlight. We sailed along the beautiful Moonlight Bay.
That was great, Gary. All fine. Really, you really come on. You took off your part darn good there. You had a lot of eclat. Impossible for anybody to follow Lindsay. You done it.
Thanks, Dad.
Say, Bing,
Yeah?
have you had any word from Bob Hope since he sailed for England?
Well, if I do, Ken, it'll come collect.
Well, I just wondered how he made out. You know, he was supposed to do a show aboard the Queen Mary.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You mean old Ballast Bottom is working his way across? Oh, I should have known that skin-flinted figure some caper like that.
No, I'm talking about
Hey,
his
his
radio
ra-
show.
his radio- what's
Oh,
he doing?
yes. Well, he's doing that aboard the boat.
No.
I'll bet by the time the ship docks, everybody aboard will be smoking Chesterfields, from the captain down to the stowaways.
Oh, Hope's writers smoke 'em already, Ken.
True, they do. They know Chesterfield and only Chesterfield gives smokers mildness plus no unpleasant aftertaste.
Folks, that big plus is the reason why Chesterfield's ABCs, the most famous ABCs in the world, mean more today than ever before. They mean Chesterfields are A, always milder, B, better tasting, C, cooler smoking, plus no unpleasant aftertaste. So from now on, remember those ABCs and always buy Chesterfield.
Buy Chesterfield, Chesterfield, the one that proves its case. Yes, Chesterfields are milder, plus no aftertaste.
So ho, open a pack and give 'em a sniff, then you'll smoke 'em. Song now by Mr. John Scott Trotter and Mr. Tom Adair has sort of a seasonal quality to it seems to me. Any town is Paris when you're young. In any sky, a dreamer's moon is hung. Every love's the one love that you swear you'll never leave. And the gypsy spell of spring is yours to weave. All the world is magic when you're young. Every song's the sweetest ever sung. Every street is lover's lane where wishing stars are strung. And any town is Paris when you're young.
Any town is Paris when you're young. In any sky, a dreamer's moon is hung. Every love's the one love that you swear you'll never leave. And the gypsy spell of spring is yours to weave.
All the world is
every song the sweetest ever sung. Every street is lover's lane where wishing stars are strung. Yes, any town is Paris when you're young.
Well, folks, that's our closer for this session. Our thanks to Gary for helping out tonight.
Who's going to be with you next week, Dan?
Next week, Gary, our guests will be Louis Armstrong and Rose Marie. Why do you ask?
Well, Lynn and I have been on, so I thought maybe the twins would be your guests next week.
Can't get them. Cannot get the twins. They're holding out. They refuse to do anything but television.
Well, you're the boss. Why don't you just tell them they've got to do radio?
Too late for that.
What do you mean?
Two of them got together last week and they formed a union. I'm hoping that we may be able to negotiate with them somehow. And before closing tonight, I'd like to thank the readers of Radio and Television Mirror for their support in the recent poll. So I'll see you next week for Chesterfield, folks. That's the best cigarette for you to smoke.
Folks, the 1951 Red Cross Fund Drive has fallen far behind its quota. Now, we all know that our country faces a national emergency, and none of us can afford to stand by with our fingers crossed, putting off what has to be done. We've got to get into action now. The Red Cross program for collecting blood and blood plasma, urgently needed by our armed forces in Korea and for civilian defense, has got to be a neighbor-to-neighbor proposition. As the Red Cross works for all of us, so all of us have to lend our support for this big job ahead. Remember, the job ahead of the Red Cross today is bigger than ever before. The need is staggering. The need is immediate. So why not visit your nearest blood bank soon and also make a generous contribution to the 1951 fund campaign of the Red Cross? The Bing Crosby Show, presented by Chesterfield, was produced and transcribed in Hollywood by Bill Morrow and Murdo McKenzie. Tune in next week and hear Bing and his guests, Rose Marie and Louis Armstrong. Folks, you'll want to hurry and send for your copy of the new book, Tobacco Land, USA. It's authentic, it's authoritative, it's revealing. You really ought to read it before you buy another pack of cigarettes. To get your copy of Tobacco Land, USA, just put your name and address on a penny postcard and mail it to Chesterfield, Box 21, New York 8, New York. That's Chesterfield, Box 21, New York 8, New York, for your copy of Tobacco Land, USA.